How's it going, everybody? This is my EdTech 202 instructional video. Today we're going to be talking about fly fishing, specifically how to tie a new leader on, a new tippet onto your leader. First things first, since you are a fly fisherman, you're going to need a craft beer, unless you are a college student, in which case anything will do, I suppose. Next step, you're going to want to take your fly rod. I don't have all of it on, obviously, because that'd be a mess. Who wants to work with 9 feet of fly pole? You're going to take your rod, you're going to undo whatever system you have that keeps your reel onto your rod, undo all of that mess, take this off. This is going to be considerably easier to work with than trying to manipulate your entire rod setup. So we're going to switch our angle real quick, and we'll be back to talk about how to do this. Alright, so let's go over what you're going to need to get that old tippet off and put a new one on. First things, you're either going to need a multi-tool with like some snips, or a pair of scissors, or just some nail clippers. Those tend to work pretty well. You're going to need some new tippet, whatever kind of fish you're going to be fishing on. Try to find something that is going to match that for like tensile strength. And then you're going to need your reel. So step one, this is a pretty simple situation. You're going to need to loosen up the drag. You're going to need to find your tippet. There it is, your old tippet. I've lost it. There it is. Pull that out up until you find the leader. You see how short that my old tippet was. Wasn't catching anything on that. So we pulled it up to the leader. We don't need to go much farther. I'm going to tighten up that drag so I'm not spinning all over the place here. We found the leader and the tippet where they meet. What we're going to do, pretty simple process. All we're going to do is snip off that knot that we made the last time we had to do this. After that, get this out of the way. Pull out a little bit of leader. Now, I think a lot of people have kind of a preference on how much leader they tend to use. I tend to use about an arm's length, maybe 3 feet. So just kind of do one of these, go out, take about that much. That should give you about enough to tie on a few flies before you run out of leader. If fish aren't biting on the one fly, you can change it over without having to change a whole leader and wasting a bunch of time not keeping your lines wet. So go back to the reel, find the leader again, flip it over so we got a steady base, and then you're going to take these two and you're going to line them up, and I am going to get a bit of a better shot here so you can kind of see the knot, since this line is so hard to see on the camera. I'm going to get a little bit closer here, but basically you want these lines to be parallel, with maybe 2 to 3 inches. The more you have, the easier it's going to be to tie these knots, but you're also going to start eating up your leader, so you just kind of gotta weigh the pros and the cons. So yeah, we'll get that camera angle changed and be right back. Alright, so we're back with the macro lens so we can get a little better look at what's going on here. I apologize if I kind of go in and out of focus. These tend to be sort of finicky about what they like to keep in and blur out. So as you can see, we have the leader, that thicker line on top, and the tippet, the thinner line on the bottom, and those are going to be touching. We're going to get those together so it looks like one line, and then pretty simple, pull a little bit more leader here. Sorry about that. Makes it a little bit easier to work with that way. So get back to that. We got these two lines. You can see them there. Try to find that focus right about there. So we got these two lines together. They need to be tied together so we can present flies without this big ugly leader scaring everything away. So pretty simple. We're going to do 2 overhand knots, or granny knots as they're sometimes referred to. The bigger the loop you make right now, the easier it's going to be later on to get both of the loops to pass through. So we have the first loop made for the first overhand. put the leader end through, pinch that, grab the tag end of the tippet line and pull that through. Tighten that up just a little bit so we can keep that loop. Now one might be alright, but you're better off doing two. So we're just going to do a double overhand, very simple, same thing. Again, pinch that leader line when you get it back through the hole there, and then pull down that the tippet line a little too much there. Draw out this. It's easier if you kind of pull it all the way to its full length, the leader line that is, and get all the way down to the very end. So then you can just poke it right on through, pinch it however you can. I lost it. There we are. Get that back in there. Pinch it off so it doesn't go slipping back through. Hang on. This tippet line can be kind of hard to work with if you've got big dumb sausage fingers like I do. Much easier for the nimble fingered. So we got that pulled through. Now what we've got is a little double overhand knot, double granny knot, and you can see the leader and the tippet there, and all we're going to do now, get it a little bit wet, tends to help the knot tighten up. Just kind of lick your fingers, get a little bit of moisture on that knot, grab both the tag ends and the lead ends, and pull that tight. And then once you get about here, you can let go of those tag ends, pull on one side, pull on the other, just get that cinched down. You can kind of use your fingernails to push it together, get it nice and tight. So we end up looking a bit like this. If it will focus, there we go. Looks something like that. And that's fine and dandy. It's a strong knot. We give it a little tug test here. Strong knot, it isn't going to go anywhere. We're hauling in all those big stocked hatchery trout that we're going to be catching later on. But we do have these tag ends. You can see the leader tag end there, and the tippet tag end there. This is where the nail clippers come in handy. You can get right down onto the knot and clip off that tag end. Be sure not to clip your tippet line. It is small. It can be hard to see. So just, there we go. Clip that off. Give it another little tug. Flip it over to the tippet end. Do the same thing. Clean it up a little bit. And my nail clippers are dull. There we are. So that's all clipped off. Give her another little strength test. And that is how you tie a leader onto a tippet with a double overhand knot. By far the easiest method. I'm sure there are, better methods, better knots, but this seems to work for me. I've hauled in plenty of good sized fish on this and have never had any issues. So if you tie it right, you'll be good to go. Alright guys, that is how you're going to tie your leader onto your tippet, or tippet onto your leader, whatever way, it's the same thing. Yeah, you're good to go. Go out and fish, go get some lines wet. Alright guys, enjoy, have fun. What do they say? Keep your lines tight. One of those fly fishing adages. Keep them tight.